been times in my life I've been wondering why. Still somehow I believed we'd always survive. Yeah, now I'm not so sure. You're waiting here. One good reason to try. What more can I say? What's left to provide? Yeah. You think that maybe it's over, only if you let it. This is it. Are you gonna wait for a sign? This is it. Stand up and fight. This is it. The last episode. What's up, y'all? This is Ty. Here I go butchering songs. Listen, that song was in my head. Then I was trying to make it connect with this video. But what's up, y'all? This is Ty. I am here to review Season 2, Episode 10 of P.Valley. And tonight's episode is titled Mississippi Rules. And it was a really good one. Because this is it. This is it for the season, y'all. But before I get down into this review, let me give a shout out to my lovely subscribers who've been holding me down in the comment section. Some of y'all been kind of quiet. Some of y'all haven't seen in a while, but that's okay. But shout outs to my folks like June BLC, Simply Be Yourself 100, Curion, CO, September, January, Shanta Kiana, Lamont Simpson, R.C. Kroger, Miss Jean, Quinta Baptiste, Karima Khadija, Nikki Vaughn, Tanae C., House of Sir James, and Savannah Rivers Amore Dupree. Where you been at, Savannah? I don't know where Savannah is. If anybody sees Savannah, somebody find her and tell her, I'm looking for you. Where you at, Savannah? I'm so used to seeing you in the comment section, but I don't see her. But anyway, enough of that. Enough of my singing and shenanigans. We are already 2 minutes and 28 seconds in this video. Let's get down to this review. Starts off Andre and his wife and Haley. She done caught them. She's like, oh, this is how you get me back? And he was bold. Andre was like, yeah, that's how I'm getting you back. Now, you know they have this thing. First of all, she was cheating. You know, we caught her with her co-worker. You know, Andre caught her doing that. But Andre was already tipping and dipping with Haley anyway. But he's like, listen, I ain't feeling you. Let's end this. He basically is like, I ain't feeling it. She says, where did we go wrong? He was like, when we got married. I was like, oh, I felt that one. He was like, that's where we went wrong. We should have never got married. And then she mentions, you know, because, you know, his daddy is a criminal. His daddy's in jail. And she mentions that. Why didn't you tell me? He said, would you have married me if you knew that? So he's basically saying the marriage is over. She's basically saying she loves him because he said, you're not in love with me. She's like, I do love you or whatever. So they decide they're going to stay in Chucalissa. She's staying too. And he's going to have this law firm, whatever. She's trying to stick it out. She's trying to fight. He's saying, this is it. Oh, see, I tied it in. He's saying, this is it. The marriage is done. She's saying, no, I'm fighting. So basically, very interesting. But as that's going on, you know, it's election night. So we're trying to figure out who is going to win this election, who's going to be the next mayor of Chucalissa. And he stepped out there skinning and grinning because we all thought he was going to win and he was to be the projected winner. But we know how that go. Remember how they thought that in real life, how they thought Hillary Clinton was going to win. They projected that. And then when the numbers came in, surprise, bitches. So that's basically the same thing. So he stepped out there like he's skinning and grinning. They was like, hey, did you speak to the mayor-elect? Huh? What's that about? Turns out, guess who the mayor is? Drum roll, please. Pastor Patrice Woodbine. I laughed so hard when and I was shocked too. I said, wow, they're going to make her the mayor? That was hilarious to me. And, you know, she's a lady. She couldn't believe it herself. And I'm like, wow. So meanwhile, while that's going on, down at the Pink, Lil Murder is giving a performance, a stripped down performance, so to say. He don't have his grills. He had the music, no music. He started the song. Meanwhile, what's the guy's name? Mano, Manny, the guy, his enemy is sitting in the crowd, and he starts the song off a cappella. Then he gets right into it. Basically, in the song, he's like, tell her I put bullets in it. Basically, he might as well have sung and said, yes, I'm the one that killed Pico and I didn't feel a damn thing. Because that's basically what he said in the song. And, the homeboy was sitting in the audience like, yeah, whatever. But it was a great performance because the music kicked in. And this is that same song that he played for Mercedes in the last episode. And Mercedes came out there, jumped on that pole, that she did. Beautiful woman. That was a great scene, great performance. They're ready to celebrate this performance. You see them go in the back. We see Uncle Clifford is in there crying. First thing I thought is, oh no, Ernestine done died on us, because they set it up where they made it seem like Ernestine was going to die. So I'm thinking it's going to be, I'm going up yonder, or take me to the king, or one of those things. But no, she has survived, so she's alive. That was great, and I'm happy about that because I absolutely love Loretta Devine. Love that actress. I love her. So I'm so glad that Grandma Ernestine has survived. And with that being said, there's always comedy with Grandma Ernestine. She's out of the hospital and she's ready to partay. She's like, listen, I'm having my celebration. And what does she do? She calls on Big L and the Africans. And that was hilarious because, Lil Murder Uncle Clifford just got through firing Big L because for having the drugs and the pink. And now look at this. You done brought him back and he's got to do this. We have to make this arrangements for my party and all of this other stuff. And then we also see Lil Murder and Uncle Clifford have a conversation. So Lil Murder is scheduled to go on this tour with Tina Snow. And he says he's going to go on it. And Uncle Clifford pretty much tells him, yeah, let's end the relationship. Let's, because I don't want to hold you back. I got this thing I'm going on, and this is going to be good for you. This is going to blow you up, all that, because, Tina Snow's a big artist, this, that, and the third. But he don't really mean all that because he loves Lil Murder. He loves him. And so, as that's happening, after that happened, like I said, Grandma's over there, and Uncle Clifford starts daydreaming, and he has a daydream with his mother, and his mother's telling him that was a bad decision what you did, and that was cold how you just pushed this guy off like that when you don't really mean that. You don't really mean that. And those two, shout outs to those two actors that, the one that plays Lil Murder and the one that plays Uncle Clifford. Shout outs to them because their scenes tonight was really good. Just letting off the emotions of that whole thing of, I love you, but I don't want to hold you back in a sense. And I'm afraid. I'm also afraid of what's going to happen and all of that. All of that acting, that they did, that was very powerful, I thought. And I thought it was good. It was good acting. Hopefully they'll win and get Emmy nominated or something for the performances, because the performances were very nuanced. Yes, I thought so. I thought they were really good because you felt the struggle and the confusion of what they want to do, and that kind of, am I making sense? Let me know in the comment section, but you know what I mean. I felt that. I liked all of that tonight. And then we had, what else happened? Let's stay on them for a little bit. We just that conversation that they had, and then the feeling, and then when Little Murder had the conversation with, it was just good. It was really good. Speaking of, we see Keyshawn. Let's go on to Keyshawn a little bit. We see Keyshawn thinking she's almost out of here, and I was like, what's gonna happen? And some people was predicting that Big Bone was gonna stop Keyshawn and spoil her plans, but I knew that. I was like, nah, that's not gonna happen. That don't make any sense. So we see Keyshawn meeting up with Lil Murder, He gives her the money that he owed her, whatever. They said they ain't gonna keep no. She gonna keep his secret. He gonna keep hers when she leaving town. But she says to him, you know, you don't have to break up. You know, if that's the one you want, whatever. She kind of puts that in his ear. That was nice of her to say. Meanwhile, she goes to pick up her children. A stupid stepmother that involved Derek, so Derek knew. So Derek then got there and got the kids before her. I was so mad. I said, damn. She can't escape. So that pissed me off. The stepmother needs to be smacked. And then it gets even worse because when Keyshawn goes over to the house and she sees Derek and she's about to explain, here come the Child Protective Services. And then y'all remember the bruises that was on the child. You remember that? And now, on top of that, someone, Derek, has called Child Protective Services on her. And they made 2 calls or whatever. And now they're telling her, you have to stay here for 6 months and be investigated and watch. He's a dirty, low down, that had me so mad. And he just sitting there holding the kids like he's just this good person. Man, Keyshawn snapped. Another one who deserves an Emmy nomination and an Emmy for her performance. She snapped and just went berserk and started hitting him. You did this. She screamed, you did this, you did this. She lost it. That was a great scene. It pissed me off, but it was a great scene. She lost it. She started attacking him. Next you know, the police done grabbed her, put her down. Now she's under arrest. That pissed me off. That really pissed me off. But we must move on from me being pissed off. And we're going to go on over to Mercedes. Mercedes gets a check in the mail. Don't we like checks? I need a check. I need another check coming in. She gets that poster of herself from Farrah, and she gets a check in the mail from Farrah. Enough money to get that gym up and running, to get all of that going. And her and Farrah have a conversation, and Farrah says, I owed you from, my situation and from using your art, using your photos in my art exhibits. You need to be paid. And that was nice. I enjoyed it, and I liked that. And, she saw that beautiful picture of herself. Then we get to see the lovely Mercedes smiling and looking so peaceful. Another great scene when she's in the gym and she's looking at the pictures of herself. And here comes Patrice Woodbine, Mayor Patrice, who has been cracking me up this whole episode, because that whole scene when she was in the office tearing signs down and falling out of the chair, that was hilarious. So here she comes, and I'm like, okay, what does she want now? What is she about to do? But she actually came, and they did have a good mother-daughter thing, and she did something very nice. Because it turns out that Shell, who's been drinking her life away, has decided she wanted to give Terica to Pastor Bishop. What she want to be called? What did she say she wanted to be called? Let me look at my notes, y'all. Mayor Bishop. Mayor Bishop. Shells gives Terica to Mayor Bishop. And she's like, listen, I'm going to be the mayor, and I'm running my church. I can't keep up with this. So she gives Terica to Mercedes, which is awesome. So it's like she's got her daughter. So I'm like, okay, things are going well here. That's nice. That's really nice. And we see that Mercedes introduces Terica to the guy, Maney. I think that's his name, Maney, man. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He's Lil Murda's nemesis. And he's kind of not feeling. He was like, you was up there dancing and all that. You must be down with his crew. She said, listen, everything when I was in there, that was all about the pink. I ain't got nothing to do with y'all little beef or whatever. And he said, well, you better tell that little fag to. And she was like, she thinks he's talking about Uncle Cliff. He said, no, not that one, the other one. I ain't talking about him. I'm like, see, what's the name? Secret. It's kind of out. It's kind of out there. It's really kind of out there. So, what else happened? Haley thought she was in the money, but Georgie had to put a kibosh in that. She called her up saying, now I think I want more money. Georgie was like, sweetheart, No, you don't understand. You must not know. I don't need the pink anymore because we can build the casino on waterfront property. She's like, yeah, but the pink is where the waterfront is. She said, no, no, no. Haven't you heard? Haven't you heard? They're building a canal. That canal is going downstream so we can build down the street because there's going to be water there. So they don't need the pink. Haley was furious. Turns out Corbin got the idea from, remember that time when Corbin and Uncle Clifford was talking? He got the idea from him. So they're using that, they're creating a canal that's going to connect to their land and bring that casino. They're able to, because of the water now, they're going to have a waterfront that goes downstream, down the street. They'll be able to open up the casino down the street on their property, on their land, without bothering the pink. So now Haley goes into that office and she is pissed off. And that little conversation between her and Uncle Clifford was hilarious because turns out Uncle Clifford got the $250,000 from Corbin, gives it to her, said, isn't that what you paid for the pink? I'm giving you that back. She's like, but we could have made so much more. What's wrong with you? And she's like, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have this company. If it wasn't for my money. And he had to remind her, hold on. If it wasn't for me and Mercedes, you would be dead. Like, we saved your life from Montavious. I think that's the guy's name. He said, and I was like, yeah, they got a good point. And he's like, you would have thought you would have had more loyalty to me. And he said, this place means more to me than all that big money. Everybody's not into the money. Some people have integrity, you know. And he was like, this place means more to me than the money. So he was like, no. And so he told her, get on out. You either go out the door, I'm going to take you out the window, whatever. And then you saw Big L and Diamond in. It's like, yeah, because, you know, we know your secrets, whatever. So that was interesting. But the crazy thing is she kind of still got them back. Well, she did get them back because she ended up stealing $40K anyway. And then we see towards the end of the episode that she's on the run somewhere. I don't know where she was at, but she's on the run. And I'm like, dang, that's another one right there. So with that going on, what else happened? Let me see. I got to look at my notes now. I'm looking at my notes. We already talked about, okay. So with that going on, that was that. Let's move on back to... Let's go back to Uncle Clifford and Lil Murders. No, let's not do that. Let's go here to Roulette and one of the employees at the Pink, because now let's do that. Let's go to Grandma Ernestine's party. The party is nice. Everybody's showing up. Mercedes showed up with her daughter, Terica. All that's nice. All that's going, all that good stuff. Now, get this. So Roulette gets confronted by another employee who I believe is a trans woman. And she pretty much tells Roulette, yeah, I know what you running around here, as they doing this nose candy. I know what you running around here talking about the prostitution. And she's like, listen, I won't tell Uncle Cliff, but you know, some money in that. I could be a hoe too. Let me in on this. So they're going to do that. So I said, see, that's going to be something that we're going to see grow more in season 3, because that's some crazy mess right there. And I was like, wow, okay, that's what they're doing with that. All right. So from there, we see Uncle Clifford sitting around and Grandma Ernestine sitting with some guy and all of that stuff going on. And then you hear Pretty Brown Eyes. Somebody done put Pretty Brown Eyes on the jukebox. It is Lil Murder. Lil Murder has decided he's not going. I'm telling you, I'm not going. He's not going on tour. He decides he is not going on the tour. And so they have this conversation. And this was a great scene too. They have this really good conversation because he pretty much broke it down where he told a story about being in the closet and his whole situation with what was the guy's name that killed himself? Teak, Big Teak. and he's saying what happened with them, and he says, I believe, he even tells Uncle Clifford, I believe, that situation and all of that, him not being able to love me in the light is probably why he killed himself. And I was like, wow, deep. They had a really deep conversation, and it was one where Uncle Clifford was telling him, listen, I don't want to be the reason why you didn't go after your dreams or your career didn't work the way it should have worked, because this, you coming out can damage you. And what's name was like, well, maybe me being in the closet is probably too much, and this is why I need to. I thought that was really a great scene. And then like I said, with Uncle Clifford finding out about the money being stolen by Haley, he ends up taking some of them pills that he was like, I don't want these drugs in his club, which is going to be interesting because it's going to be drugs and prostitutions, listen to me, drugs and prostitution going on in the Pink. That's going to be the focus next season. That's what I believe. And so with all that being said, next thing they're dancing, he's dancing, and he feels somebody come and put his arms around his waist and let me hold you tight. Next thing Lil Murda done outed himself. He don't care no more. He's like, I guess he's ready to be, listen, that's what I am. I am what I am. This is it. This is that. That's that. This is it. Here we go with it. This is it. Y'all like that, right? So everybody's looking at them. They like, what y'all looking at them? They kiss in front of everybody. So it's out in the open. So I guess next season we'll be dealing with how they deal with that public scrutiny. To see what's going to happen now. That was very interesting. Meanwhile, Diamond's phone rings. It's an unknown caller. Now, I don't pick up unknown calls. So you unknown, you better unblock your call and call me back because I ain't picking that up. But he picks it up, and it's Keyshawn, and she's telling him, bro, I'm in jail. I need you to help me, blah, blah, blah. She says it in coded language. And can you do me a favor? Pretty much, can you off Derek? And I'm like, you should have let him do it in season 1, but you got in the way. But so that happens. So we see him, looks like he's on his way to go help her. And, next thing he gets attacked. He puts up a little bit of a fight, but somebody cuts him. And I was like, that's Big Bone. I knew that was Big Bone. They rough him up. Next they got him in the Diamond and got put in the trunk of the car. And you see that there was some guy, he had a ring that looked like it was Montavious' ring. And so I was right, and I believe January said in the comment section last week that she believed, I don't know if January, I don't know if it's a she or he, but that person, January, left a comment in my last week saying that they believed that Big Bone was working with Montavious, or part of Montavious' crew. And you would be correct. And so they got him in there, and that's how the episode ended. So it's like, now we got to figure out what's going to happen with Diamond. We got to figure out what's going to happen with Keyshawn. Oh, man. So while some people had decent endings, some things had some issues. So I thought it was a really good season finale. I'm going to miss the show until the 3rd season. Hopefully it don't take as long as they did with this season to do it. Hopefully we don't have to wait so long for season 3. But that's all I have. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video.